Shalom everyone. This is a very quick video. Listen, not everyone wants to move on. And I'm talking to believers now, those that are moving on, those that are developing in the faith, those that are doing the will of God. I'm talking to you now. Not everyone wants to move on. And this may sound very hard, it may sound very strange, but it is strange and it is hard, but it's truth. It's reality. Not everyone wants to move on. Now listen, let me explain what I mean with moving on. Moving on means losing stuff that don't benefit your future. Let me give an example. Some people are very suspicious. They expect negative intentions from everyone. Why? Some of them, in their past, people did them dirty as when they were vulnerable and they've experienced danger. Now, get this straight. When someone does you dirty, they are the ones doing it. Even if you were naive, it's still no excuse for them to take advantage of you. By the way, even people that are streetwise are being done dirty. Even people that are streetwise can be deceived. So that someone did you dirty, it's them. That's objectively true. So if they are away, then they are away with their negativity. Okay? So then you will lose the connection you had to the event. Listen, the event happened, and the event had an impact upon you, but you lose your connection to the historical event. And now you're focused upon the future and the other possibilities that your future holds. Now listen to me carefully. There are people that are so obsessed with certain historical events that they've become addicted to the anger they're feeling about what happened to them. Or there are people, they are so intoxicated by some past enjoyment that everything in their lives is about reproducing that historical enjoyment they had. For example, you can have a woman that so-called fell in love with a guy, the sex was so good, but the guy has moved on, the guy is now married with his child, and he has children. It's already 20 years ago, but she still is fantasizing about reproducing the fake relationship they had. The guy was not interested in marriage, the guy was only interested in having sex, the guy used her, and the guy moved on, the guy has repented of his sins and is now a believer and marrying, but the woman is still stuck with that historical event that happened. And there there are times, you see, that people will even try to. Okay, let me say this clearly. Everyone, because I'm taking my time to explain it to you because I don't want to deceive anyone, nor do I want to lead anyone astray. So that's why I'm taking my time. I'm also correcting myself when I notice I said something that I could have said better. Look, there are people out there who are intoxicated by past events. And all people that are intoxicated by past events, they become suspicious. You see? They be suspicious in the sense that they will always accuse someone of a negative intent. For example, that the guy that was done dirty, he is still attached to that past event, and he's still intoxicating everyone else. It's not because he's hurt by the past event. No, it's because he does not want to move on. He wants to hold on to his old way of thinking. He wants to hold on to his old emotional reasoning. He doesn't want to admit that his reasoning does not work. So now he's in a state of denial, and he has a make believe that his way of thinking is right. Okay? And he will gather people around him that will confirm that his way of thinking is right. Okay, let me give another illustration. We have this girl in college. I'm just using common illustrations here, okay? You have this girl in college. She's very bitchy, as they call it, and she has very few friends. She wants to keep her social circles small. Yes, she knows that some people cannot be trusted. However, she doesn't want to admit that she herself cannot be trusted. She doesn't want to admit that she tends to take advantage of other people. So now, to hide her own defect, she is accusing everyone else of being not trustworthy. And she will always try to look for some excuse to attack someone. You see? And now she may have a few friends around her that will confirm the facts she's telling. But after a while, those friends will realize that she's out of her mind. They will leave. Then 10 years pass by. She has no friends, only a job, and people she loosely interacts with. But she's still blaming other people for her circumstance. Why? She does not want to move on. And why am I emphasizing this, people? It's because there are many people that will fake being Christians in order to get access to you. They will do this because they are angry when they see your progress. Why? Because they don't want to endure vulnerability. In order to grow and to move on, you need to admit that you're vulnerable, you need to admit that you're failable, and you need to admit that you can be deceived. You need to admit that you can't have control, and you will have to process difficult emotions. You will have to go through suffering because you're not living in a perfect world. You're living in a fallen world. Admit that. They want to pretend as if they are the cause of everything in their lives. They want to be the God of their life. They want to be the cause of everything. And you can't be the cause of everything because you're a creature. That's one. You depend upon a lot of stuff, so you cannot be the sole cause of everything. And they don't want to let go of that. You understand? So when they see you moving on and progressing, they will try to befriend you. Why? It so that they can attack you and stagnate your development. That's why I'm talking to believers now. If you have a house, whether it's a villa or just a small apartment, don't tolerate everyone ringing at your door and visiting you. Now listen to what I'm saying here. I'm not telling you to be antisocial. I'm not telling you to be I'm not telling you to be anti-hospitable. Okay? We should be hospitable towards people, and we should show hospitality to people, and should show generosity to people because that's natural for us as believers. The Lord also gave us a sound mind, so the Lord also gave us discernment. Okay? If you have your apartment or your house, I know which. Let's talk to single people now, believers. If you have your house as a single individual or your apartment, don't tolerate people just coming in and out of that house. Why? Because listen to what I'm saying here. When you're a believer and you're single, you have a lot of time to invest to grow in the Word of God. You see, people that came to Christ when they were already married, they have a lot of difficulties because often their spouse is an unbeliever just like them, and now they have all these, you know, social obligations that will hinder them from growing in the Lord. So when you are single now, I'm talking to young people, when you are single and you're a believer and you're growing in the Lord, there's a lot of potential in you. And listen, there are certain people, either from your past or. Sorry, I had to pause this for a moment. But okay, when you're a believer, don't just allow everyone to enter your apartment or your house. You know why? Because some people, they have demons with them. You see? Listen, they can be people from your past or people you just meet on a daily basis, or some stranger, or a new friend of yours, or sometimes a fellow believer. But many of those people, they have demons. Because listen, when you don't move on, you you are basically attracting a curse upon yourself. And listen, those demons, they can discern that you are a true believer. They can see that you are single and you're developing. So what will those demons do? They will try to use a method to stagnate your development in order to bring darkness into your life. And if you have a ministry, because every believer has a ministry, whether it's at church or just at local job, every believer has a ministry and a gift, or multiple gifts and multiple ministries. Demons will try to frustrate that, and one way they do is by using people that aren't aware that they are being used by demons. And those people they will bring on your path. And when those people visit your house or your place, that negativity will go with them. And once that individual leaves, that negativity will hang around in your place. So you can have people come into your home or to your apartment, and when they leave, you will notice that you lose certain objects, or that stuff begin to break, or that you will have difficulties with sleep. You get what I'm saying? Why? Because there's a negative atmosphere. There was an injection of negativity into your environment. Let me say, many of those people are not aware that demons are using them. So you're not blaming them, but for your own well-being, you keep them out. And there are people who do have negative intentions. You see? And some of those people are even aware of witchcraft and all of that. So they will come to your house. Let me say those that are ignorant of the supernatural, they will come to your house. They will talk to you, smile with you, and when they leave, you will hear later they are gossiping about you or whatever. Or someone may even bring drugs with them, throw them somewhere in your house when you're not looking, and later they will tip the cops that there's drugs in your house. Even if later it was found out that it wasn't you, they've still done some damage to you. You understand what I'm saying here? Or those that are aware of the supernatural, they will perform some ceremony at home with the use of they will use witch spells, and they will come into your house and they will throw some object in your home that you're not aware of, and that object is charmed. So now they will have something in your house that they can use for demons to go to and to work into your life. Look, just having someone on Facebook or on MySpace is nothing. You see, those things are just electronic platforms. Anyone can use an electronic platform that does not open any door to anything. You understand what I'm saying? Well, what demons need is an emotional, how do I say it, an emotional opening. That's what they need. Okay? So that's what I want to say to single believers. You see? And that's why another thing I want to warn you, single believers, for. When you are single and you're following the Lord and you are developing, you may notice that certain people of the opposite sex will begin to stare at you. You will notice it. If you're a man, young man, that's following Christ, you will notice certain women will begin to stare at you. When you enter into a place, you will notice some of them are showing attention to you. Or it may be that someone at college or at a job, you just have interaction with them, there's nothing romantic, but that girl or that woman is looking at you. Sometimes it's older women. There's also they keep paying attention to you. And you notice that, wait a minute, this is strange. Okay? Or if you're a woman, it can happen that either men or other women will do this to you. Let me tell you, and let me reveal something to you. When this is happening, you notice that someone is paying attention to you, or you find out that you meet someone on a regular basis and you did not intend to meet them, but they're just there. Now let me tell you what's going on. Satan is trying to set you up. Now I'm not saying that Satan himself is involved. However, what his demons are doing is to glorify, their master Satan they're worshiping. So whether it's those other demons doing it, or it's the devil himself giving them orders to it doesn't matter. Satan is trying to set you up. You see? And listen, this is something I've been through. Okay? So I'm not going to speak of based upon some fake preaching I've heard once in a while. This is something I've been through. I see other people going through this also. When you are without many social obligations, you have a lot of time to develop. So Satan will burden you, or MC demons will burden you with a social care. You see? And of course, you are a believer, you're not aware that demons are setting you up. So when you see someone in need, you tend to show them attention, you tend to acknowledge them. Why? Because Jesus said that if you avoid someone, Jesus really made this clear, also in the Old Testament. If you ignore the poor are people in need, if you ignore the people in need, the Lord will ignore you. You see, and the Lord makes clear that we should reach out to people. So Satan will use your Christian convictions in order to trap you. And so often he will use someone from the other sex because it appeals more to you. This does not mean that he will try to enforce a sexual relationship upon you. No, but he will just have those people around so that you will show care towards them. And there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You're not sinning, you're not in darkness, but he's just doing that to keep you occupied. You get what I'm saying here? So, also, that's something you need to be aware of. Now, God can you turn it around for the good for you. So I'm not telling you to be worried and to cut people off because it can be that Satan or those demons intended it for evil, but the Lord is turning it around for good. But just be aware that this is a tactic that the devil is using to keep you occupied. Because listen, once you are being kept occupied, now those demons will have an access through the individual they're using to mess around in your life, in your ministry, in which you're gifts. So again, I'm going to repeat this. Be very careful who you allow into your house, especially when you're a believer and you're single. Listen, I want to unlearn the word single because single then promotes separation, and as we know, separation is a lie. And let me say this: if you're unwed, then especially then watch out who you allow into your home. You see, maybe it's better to don't receive anyone in your home at all, but to reach them on the streets or on social media. Because listen, there are quite some dangerous people walking out there. Some of them even pretend to be Christians, and some of the people of your past, you used to be in kindergarten with them, or used to work in on the workplace with them, or they used to be your fraternity brothers during college. I don't know. Some of the people of your past, they've chosen the dark side and they vow themselves onto Satan. And they're into a cult now. Now, they won't tell you that. They won't tell anyone. They'll pretend to be the old individual that you knew from the past. So now they will contact you, but not with the right intention. Satan is sending them on an assignment, and they're willingly to execute the assignment. So that's what I wanted to say in this in video recording. I hope this video comes on time for those who are listening. And yeah, may the grace of Christ Jesus be with you. And always keep praying, folks. Always keep praying. Shalom.